What's up, everyone? You are now locked into SpecTalk, my podcast geared toward high performers who are obsessed with personal excellence and gaining that 1% to win every single day. Now, I'm committed to bringing you the badass, real talk approach to what optimizes health and performance for entrepreneurs, executives, and athletes from all pillars of my high performance training system. So welcome aboard. Today we are going to dive into training. And I shudder to think about how I'm going to get 10 minutes of content without going over on any one minute detail, because training is such, there's so many training schemes, reps, sets, time, intensity, type, blah, blah, blah. Where do we even begin to talk about training? I want to pare it down all the way to the starting point. What do you need to know about yourself in order to make adequate decisions on a training program? And I'm going to share this from not only my perspective, but also my client experiences and who I get. So as a certified and licensed athletic trainer and massage therapist in multiple states, I have a medical background where it makes me qualified and, of course, very passionate about injuries and optimal function. While I am also a pro bodybuilder, I know that I want to achieve the aesthetic, but the aesthetic is nothing without the function. And that's what I want to talk about today. A lot of people say, oh, I got to go to the gym. I got to go work out. And then I go to the gym and I see people. They're I got to do this. And they're just haphazardly meandering around the gym, doing a bicep curl there and then shittily doing a squat there and breaking their back on that. And it's like, I know I own a car, and I know I haven't read the manual from cover to cover, and I know I own a cell phone, an iPhone, and I know I don't know every single thing about the iPhone. So I don't sit here criticizing, saying you need to know everything about the human body. But however, if you are looking at making a change, guidance is so important. And yeah, there's ebooks, and there's forums, and there's YouTube channels. You're listening to one right now. But there's nothing like having somebody understand what your physical issues and problems are. So a lot of the clients that I have now recognize or see on the website my skill set. So I'm getting a lot of people that prefer someone with knowledge that's beyond just a boot camp knowledge. And no offense to people who run boot camps. We don't play that shit anymore. When I was 25, I was killing myself going from job to job and fitness class to fitness class because it gave me a rush to be in front of people yelling at them to move faster. It doesn't fucking impress me anymore. What actually impresses me is to be able to take an 80-year-old who never wanted to step foot in my studio, and now when he leaves for a week, he's like, oh man, I missed you, because he's sold on the result. Training begins with an assessment of knowing where you are from the perspective of core health, from the perspective of mobility, core strength, stability, and all of that stuff. As we age, we lose those things. And unfortunately, at a young age, people are now slouching over, sedentary, driving cars and on computers more than ever. So the 2 hours a week that I get with some of the people in my program, in person, if they do like my classes, it's not enough for the rest of the week that they are doing poor habits. They have to do some sort of maintenance on their own. But they are also very astute to know their body, so that as we discover more things every week, they're more equipped with tools to use to break up their day when they're on their computer for 13 hours. And a lot of people just decide to go and get some free program from bodybuilding.com or whatever, which is great. I have used programs myself in the past because I was always in the exploratory phase until I felt like I achieved a level of mastery in things that never over the last 20 years have failed me or gone awry. And they are mobility, core strength, flexibility, of course, intensity and time and type of the exercise, and progressive overload. All of the fancy stuff that I've done with my athletes or with upper level clientele that may have specific injuries, those are things that are customized, but anyone could download a program off the internet and go do it. But are you doing it correctly? with intention. When I see the person in the gym that's just meandering around doing this, that, and the third, and nobody knows what the hell the structure is, and I can't figure it out, I don't see a pattern, I don't see a split in the making, because, you could break things up into a daily split, a 2-day on, 1 day off, 4-day split. You could do it in a 3-day split. And there's no rhyme or reason. And I'm like, damn, what's going on with this person? You literally shoot yourself in the foot in terms of lack of gains because of the fact that you are not consistently working towards something to build strength. And for those with compensations and core and mobility deficiencies, you're literally setting yourself up for repetitive overuse patterns and problems with actually improving from so many different biomechanical issues that are going on that you end up potentially getting hurt. And the first rule of anything in this is do no harm. I'm not in the business of killing people, although I probably have tried that in my younger uneducated years, because you get a lot of coaches that are about the ego boost. You got a lot of bros and chicks in the gym that are for the vanity metrics and not longevity. So at the end of the day, SpecTalk's performance systems is now about what I've learned over all of these years. The clients that are coming to me want longevity, even if they're 80. I've seen insane changes in an 80-year-old client over the year because he's consistent. And I've seen young people that don't do what they need to do, and they turn into 80 years old very early because they do all of the unnecessary high-intensity pounding things that, you can't out-train a poor diet. So if you're going to beat yourself up in the gym as punishment for what you did over the weekend, that's not wise either. So training should be progressive. It should be foundational. You're never going to go wrong with the big four: squat, deadlift, bench press, pull-ups. And you can throw, rows in there. You're never going to go wrong with that. You're never going to go wrong with staying flexible and mobile and working on core strength and the little things with rotator cuff and ankles. You're never going to go wrong with all of that prep work. The problem is, even with the basics, people lack intensity, they lack time under tension, they lack all of the principles that promote growth to the muscle tissue, and they do things in a way where the ratio, say for example, the most common ratio is front to back. Too much pressing for the guys, or they're hunched forward like a gorilla, not enough back exercises, shoulders are completely hung out to dry. Same thing with quad hamstrings. Most of us are quad dominant, but everybody likes the look of quads. Nobody works hamstrings and glutes. Well, nowadays in Miami, we work a lot of glutes. But that leads me to my next point. A lot of the clients that come to me with back pain are seriously deficient in glute and core strength. And unfortunately for me, good for them, I've lost clients because they got so much better that they're like, okay, I know what to do. I can handle this from here. And those are my in-person sessions. But the people committed to the full lifestyle program of getting everything to progress, and they don't want to stop. They don't want to, not see me because they have more goals that just keep coming up. Those are the people that are committed to doing things the right way, having the patience and consistency, and realizing it's a long game. Your training should reflect consistency, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Yeah, do I get bored and spice it up every once in a while? Yeah, but it's usually in the way I'm pairing my sets and supersets and plyometrics and things like that, because that's the level of training that I'm at. I could put that in. But it's never the actual base exercises and excellence in the execution of them. It's always the same ones. Because you can never neglect getting more mind-muscle connection to what's working, instead of being under a machine and underweight and just getting it done at all costs. There is a difference with the intent and the excellence in the execution. So I leave you with, go ahead and look at your training program, or if you even have one, and how is it laid out? Are you making progress? If you're doing the same thing and you have no clue what I'm talking about with respect to time under tension and muscle growth, we need to talk. So at Christina Speckos on Instagram, same thing on Facebook, Christina@ChristinaSpeckos.com. You can email me and let me know what other topics you'd like to see more elaboration on in future podcasts. And remember, focus on the excellence in every area of your life, and you're not going to go wrong.